G'day guys, can to show you the storage setup in the back of my Ranger. I think it is a little bit unique. Don't think I've seen permutations of it, but I don't know of anyone that's had it set up quite the same as me. So I'll just take you through it. Keeping everything nice and dry, we've got our ARB canopy. Look, it really is one of the better canopies on the market because a whole host of reasons, fit and finish, but also up the front of it, we've got a nice little air vent that pressurizes the canopy. That ensures the less dust gets in. It's not dust proof by any means, but yeah, I actually left that closed on one of the first trips because I forgot and got a bit of dust in here. But as soon as I realized it, flip that open and it just drops a little bit of pressure into this area that stops you getting masses of dust along the back end of your vehicle. Other cool thing about this canopy is actually it's got some secret little buttons up the side of it that you hit, and then you can open up the side windows as well, so you can access it from the back and the sides. The actual drawer system I've got in here is an Aussie made unit. Orby Fit Outs is the brand. They're down in Callinan in Victoria, and Mark the boss there is a full-on four-wheel drive enthusiast, and he really dreamt up the setup of this kind of unit for four-wheel drive touring use because he's a mad keen four-wheel drive tourer. So we've got a setup similar to this in our Everest as well, but yeah, this is a great setup. It's got a whole bunch of holes all around the place, as well as the big slide out drawers that just hold loads and loads of gear. But tucked underneath this unit are a whole host of little hidey holes, and inside them we have compressors, we have batteries. I've actually got 2 Revolution lithium batteries in there and a 2000 watt red arc inverter, as well as a red arc battery management system, the Manager 30 that we've got in here. Now the beauty of the Manager 30 is you've got this wonderful little screen here, and you can just scroll through all sorts of different menus. It'll tell you how much battery power you've got remaining. It says, you know, here it's 2 days until full, so it tells me that that is being charged by the red arc solar panel on the roof, and not a lot of power is being used at the moment. And it tells you where you're getting all your power from as well. It is an extremely smart setup, and it does keep those lithium batteries absolutely topped up and charged while we're driving along or back at camp. Now I'm using 2 different fridges here. Well, the top one is actually a fridge freezer. So it's an Engel 60 litre combi, and it's just a cracking unit because having a fridge and a freezer in the one unit is just awesome, because you can really go away for quite a bit longer, especially if you compact your meat, cryovac it, and then stack it up in there. You can really go for ages. On top of that, I've got another Engel fridge under here, which is this fridge drawer. Now this is the first time I've used one of these, and I originally thought that I'd use it just for cans of drinks, which it could fit loads and loads of, and I think that's probably originally what it was designed for. But I found that just for those lunch stops and that sort of stuff, having a really super accessible fridge available at all times is awesome. It's not a freezer, it is just purely a fridge, but it keeps everything, including your drinks, really icy cold. Now, there's a couple of things I do really like about the Engel fridges. We all know how robust they are, but what you might not know is that they have got a pretty unique compressor in them. It's called a Sowa Fuji. They're the only ones that have the patent to actually use that compressor, and it's only got one moving part. Now, the beauty of that compressor is the fact that maxed out, the most power these will use is about 2 amps. So very, very low power draw, really looks after your battery, which is why I'm comfortable to have 2 fridges in the one vehicle. Whereas a lot of other fridges tend to run 8 amps, even up to 11 amps, when they are really trying to chill the fridge down. They will then settle down to some lower amperage, like 5 or 6 or something, but there really isn't a more efficient fridge on the market that I know of than the Engels. They really just chew a very minimal amount of power, and for remote touring, that's pretty much got to be one of your #1 priorities, is having a fridge that will really last on your batteries when they're not being charged by 240 volt power out there in the bush. Now my Engel is mounted on a Clearview easy slide, so that really just helps get the fridge right down to a very usable level. When it comes to having your cheese and bickies and your beers at the end of the day, they have this wonderful little clip-on table that is really robust, and you just pop that on there and you've got a really nice additional workspace. Cheese and Bicky Central right there. There we go, and finally we have our little compressor output right there, and we're laughing. So I think it's a pretty good setup. We set this whole unit up in the space of around about 2 weeks, so it was a pretty quick setup from go to woe, but I've got to say I'm exceptionally happy, and this is a really nice touring setup for me to hit the bush.